play and fuck around with this.
Okay.
And then once we get it up and running, then we'll hit the audio and then start the show.
Sounds good.
Everything seems to be going swimmingly.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, let's see if it lasts. Look at it. There we are.
Yep, I got to pull us up on YouTube now.
No.
Maybe.
Share.
Just remember to turn your volume off.
On Facebook. Well, now my volume. Yeah, that's right. But now my volume goes through my headphones, so I'm all good.
Yeah, but you'll still hear the echo.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I not? I cannot find us.
Is this going to let me share to newsfeed? Share in a group. Okay. Is it going to let me pick the group? We fan group. Oh, son of a biscuit.
Yeah, it's not showing up on my end.
Bob.
It says we're live on Facebook or YouTube, but I can't find the video.
My computer is wanting to autofill contacts. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, come on, get out of there. Let me see if is anybody watching us.
I can't find the video.
Oh, it says we're live.
It says we're live, but the video won't come up on YouTube.
People may be watching us right now, so don't pick your nose. I'm trying to.
I'm doing it. Totally doing it.
Probably fan group. There we go. We are live. And then I'm going to post. Okay. And it says 3 are watching, so it must be working.
Hi guys, I can't find us. So
did you go to what's?
It's on my phone, but it's not on my. It's not on my other thing. My Computski.
Go on your computer. Can you go to the Bob and We fan group?
Yep. Going right now. Going right now. There's 3 people watching us. I don't know who's watching us, but hi guys.
Now only 2 are watching us. We lost one.
Oh, that was fast. We'll start in a minute, guys. Don't run off, please.
We're still 3 minutes early. We're getting all our stuff out of the way here.
Come on, computer.
I gotta stop looking at the video because the lag is messing me up. Share on Twitter. I want to be in Bob and Weave.
Man, everything is taking its sweet time. There's always something.
We are live on YouTube now. And Tweet Street.
Bam, there we go. I found us.
You got us?
I found us. Now if it'll load, that's a whole nother thing.
One last thing, I want to copy the link.
Hey guys, all 7 of you watching right now. I appreciate you guys. Yes, sir.
Coming on in. Again, I'm putting it on our main Facebook page, and then we can turn on our audio and we can get started. Pardon me.
Yeah, that was rude. That was like right in my ear.
I covered my mouth. Turned my head. Oh, my computer is like, what are you trying to do to me?
Hi, Pam. I see you.
I want to post this in the Bob and Weave podcast group. And
if anybody's wondering, it's Tito's and tonic.
You gotta wait
a little bit of lime juice.
Wait till we start the show.
I'm giving people content while you get the fuckery out of the way.
Giving it away. This is how the side. We still got 1 minute before we're supposed to be live.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. This video stays like this.
Right.
The audio might not stay like this, but the video stays like this.
Now, bam. All right. Post. Uploading.
Ready to start some audio?
Just a second here. As soon as it's done. Okay, I think that's up. Let me see here. Did that go up? There we go. All right. So now I can close that. Just this. Slide that over.
You're killing me.
Move it so I don't have the delay. All right. Now let's start our audio. Exactly 8 p.m.
Boom.
Ready, set, go. Test. Uh-oh, I got problems.
Oh, here we go. Mine's rolling beautifully.
Why did this do this? Did this to me last fucking time? God damn it. Everything was going so smooth.
All right.
Hang on.
I got my audio paused.
Oh, you don't have that. Oh, yeah.
Facebook Live, you're getting what you wanted. We're not professionals still. We got the fuckery going on.
I don't know why this is happening. This
Hello.
happened to me last week with the audio too. Let's talk to the audience, Zach, real quick.
I was trying to talk to the audience, and you keep telling me to stop talking to the audience.
Don't tell them anything cool till we start the audio. Just, give them filler stuff, but don't let them know that it's filler.
Heather, nice to see you. Jen, nice to see you. Glad you made it here. Uh-oh. Let's see what's going on here. People are going through.
People are what?
People are saying things. It's nice.
Well, what are they saying, Zach?
I'm not telling you because you're just hiding now.
I'm rebooting my audio recording software.
Holy cow. Jen, you're right. User error. Definitely user error.
It is. But to be fair, we started early and we were like almost bored because everything was going so smoothly.
Yep. Pamela, Kathy, Grayson, nice to see you guys.
Test. Okay, this says that it's working. Bob. BW.
If you guys can see his name like down in the corner, it is not representing him well.
It is too. This is the kind of shit bad motherfuckers do.
I don't think so. Valerie, nice to see you.
Okay, I'm hitting record now.
All right, I'll hit record again.
Record.
All right, I'm rolling.
And I'm rolling. Let's clap on 3. 1, 2, 3. All
Boom.
Right. That's for Mike. And we are hot. And you can start the show, Zach.
Hey guys, welcome back to Bob and Weave. I'm the Weave. That guy over there that you're going to hear in just a second is the Bob.
What's up, guys?
And we're back live on Facebook. I keep saying Facebook, on YouTube live.
Live on YouTube.
Live on YouTube. Something special, right?
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we got we're getting a little bigger crowd than we had last week. People are figuring out to like and subscribe to the Bob and Weave YouTube channel,
which we love for sure. Tonight we're gonna have another fun night, guys. But I do have some serious stuff to roll into first, and it's gonna be a downer to start. I'm really sorry for that, but you guys make it through this. We're gonna have some fun.
Oh man, can we talk about our drinks first?
Go for it.
Where you make everybody sad.
Yep.
So this week I will point out that I do have a Busch Light and another Busch Light as a backup, but that is just to wet my whistle. My actual real drink for tonight is another small batch whiskey, the bourbon actually, that is made right here in Traverse City, Michigan, and it is called Traverse City Whiskey Company, and this is their straight bourbon whiskey. It's 43% alcohol, and it's pretty damn delicious. As you can see, this one's almost gone too, hence the 2 Busch Lights. Love that sound.
Tito's and tonic. A little bit of lime juice. It's right where it needs to be.
No cranberry for color?
No cranberry for color tonight.
That barely made a glass of bourbon there. I'm running low. I got Woodford in the house. But I thought if I bring it out here, then I'll just keep drinking it, and I'll probably tell a poop story by the end of this.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I think people really enjoyed your poop story.
Yeah, I'm definitely, for you guys to know, after Zach bums us all out, I've got another great poop story for later. What else we got here? Pam Westby is drinking margaritas again.
Mm-hmm. Kathy's
Erica,
drinking water.
Erica says, Bob, did you hop the couch or whatever it is before you started today? What does that mean?
No clue.
Hop the couch. I don't know what that means. So I'm going to go with yes. Either that or I'm going to take it as disrespect. 'Cause I don't know. Chris says, hi, guys. Hey, Chris. Kathy is drinking water. Melissa Woodall says that Tito's and tonic is huge. Yeah, Zach's a big old boozer.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Harder says we all know the stories get longer and more slurred after Bob has partaken in a few. That's right. Hop the couch. Oh, apparently hop the couch means pee. I did, but I've also been drinking beer for a little while, so probably gonna have to take a pee break before this is all over.
Is that like a way to say that? Do you have to pee? Hop the couch?
Never heard that one before. Has anybody else ever heard hop the couch before?
Never heard that. Also, if you look in the there, someone just said saw. That's what my name autocorrects to if you type it in. So if you ever see saw come up, they're talking to me.
They're talking to you.
Yeah.
That's funny. Same person, Chris says that she's having a boring night because she's nursing, so it's water for you. Chris, haven't you ever heard of pump and dump? Come on, girl. You know what pump and dump is, right, Zach? Did Michelle ever pump and dump?
Not really. No.
Oh, pump and dump. You drink a little booze, then you pump all the milk out and then dump it out.
Try to be respectful. That's what we do here.
Getting a drunk baby. Pump and dump is a thing. I'm trying to give Chris some good advice.
Brian's got the Reese's drink out.
Chocolate liqueur and peanut screwball, peanut butter whiskey. Told you that peanut butter screwball, that stuff's good, but it's only good for like a shot. I can't, just too sweet for me. Can't do a whole lot.
We got it in the fridge.
I've got a bottle down the bar.
Yeah.
But I just give it to guests as shots.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see.
But if the whiskey doesn't come with a cork, I don't want it. The same way with my beer.
Keep that nose up in the air. Keep it up in the air, buddy.
That's delicious.
So I'm going to tell you guys right now, I am so unbelievably disheartened with stuff that's going on in this country. I am so unbelievably upset, and I cannot stand it anymore. I've been standing by the wayside too long and not saying anything. So I have to say something at this point. The events that happened in Minneapolis yesterday, this past couple days are unbelievable. That gentleman, George Floyd, deserves better. His family deserves justice. And this is just absolutely unbelievable. The brutality that is happening across the country, not just with George Floyd. And I cannot understand how racism is still a thing in this country. Now, you're going to ask me, I'm a middle-aged white guy that's middle of the road. I should have nothing to complain about for racism. But some people do know this. I grew up in a biracial household. My stepfather is African American. He's been my stepfather for 32 years. I'm 35 years old. Almost my entire life, he's been my stepfather. My brother and sister are both biracial. I grew up around this all the time. I watched racism firsthand. I watched my stepfather be pulled over for no reason, again and again, harassed by police. I've seen people harass my brother. I've seen people harass my sister. Now, maybe it wasn't directed totally at me, but I've witnessed it firsthand. And I just cannot take this anymore, guys. It is so upsetting to continue to see this happen. This gentleman, George Floyd, was pulled over for a completely non-violent crime.
It was like forgery or something.
It was forgery, and come to find out, it wasn't even forgery. They were suspecting him of writing a bad check, and he didn't even do that. And you have three officers holding him. Well, you have three officers holding him down and a fourth one looking on for 7 minutes as he says he can't breathe. It's unheard of anymore. Like, I cannot take it.
And for anybody that's not familiar with it, if you look up George Floyd, it'll be all over your news feed. But it was heart-wrenching and gut-wrenching to watch the video, because there's a video of it, and the fact that he wasn't even maybe at the beginning of, I don't know at the beginning how they got into that position, but it doesn't matter.
And somebody just said he wasn't pulled over. I apologize for saying that if that's totally incorrect, but it's the situation.
Well, what we see in the video is he's on the ground on his belly, hands behind his back, and the officer has his knee in Mr. Floyd's neck, pinning his head to the ground. And you see this poor guy as respectfully as he possibly can saying, "Officer, please, I can't breathe. Please, I can't breathe." And he's like I said, I don't know how they got to the ground, but he's at this point, he is clearly neutralized if he was ever even a threat. I have no idea because I only just recently caught the bits of this, but he is very respectfully saying, "Officer, please, I can't breathe." And for 5 minutes while he's pleading with him, and people in the crowd are pleading with the officer to let him breathe. The officer continues to hold his knee on his neck until the man dies. I think he ended up, I don't know if he died at the hospital or he was pronounced dead at the hospital, but he succumbed to his injuries and died from this. And it's the most disgusting thing that I've ever heard. They better charge that officer and all the officers that were there with them with murder, especially the officer that was doing it. In my opinion, that's murder. That's not negligence. That's not manslaughter. That's murder.
The mayor of Minneapolis has came out and said he would like to press charge or seek charges on that officer as well.
Yeah. Now him and to their credit, to the city of Minneapolis, I know the mayor and I believe the police chief have all come out strongly against the officer. All the officers were fired immediately. There was no like administrative leave for investigation. They were immediately fired. And I believe I saw the police chief, someone in a police uniform in the news as I was walking in here, was on the news saying that he wants them charged with murder.
I can't take it anymore. Every day that I see one of these, it's so disgusting. And I fear for people. I mean, I just absolutely fear for my stepfather, for my brother, for my sister. We shouldn't live like this. What in February? What's his name? Ahmaud Arbery was shot and killed by two gentlemen, and a third filmed it because they thought he was doing something suspicious while he was out jogging because he just happened to be a black man. It's ridiculous.
I just saw a story a few minutes ago. I didn't catch all the details, but there was I'm gonna mess this up because the news was on as I was walking out of the house out here to the office, but there was a bird. I think it was in New York. It was a bird watcher or something. This woman was like out walking her dog. Then there was a black man who was a bird watcher, and she called the police on the guy because nothing bad happened there. And actually, it's kind of a remarkable story because the woman later apologized, and the guy that the African American gentleman that had the police called him said, "Hey, she's sorry. Then I'm going to move on from it." But it's still messed up. But these guys, there is something deeply wrong with someone in regards to this cop who is so racially biased that that he has lost his empathy for another human being. I mean, I don't care. And I saw Pam on the comments here said that he was, there was surveillance video that showed there was no resistance, that he was pulled out of a car and then led over there. So I don't know what the resistance didn't start till they got to that point or whatever it was. But whatever the situation is, when you hear a person literally as respectfully as they possibly can pleading for their lives, where that doesn't trigger something in you, even if this guy was fighting them and screaming at them and cussing at them, there comes a point where even when you're in fight or flight mode, where this is a human being and the situation has de-escalated and now he can't breathe and I stop, to where that doesn't even click. And that wasn't the case at all. This guy was not at that point. This guy was not sorry, there people are saying that they lost.
Yeah, it's back though, I guess.
Okay. But this guy had he just to not care when this guy is laying there, not resisting, literally begging him to let him breathe and to not there's something that is a twisted, sick individual, combined with obviously there has to be racial undertone. I cannot imagine this would have happened if that wasn't if that wasn't a black man.
No, you're 100% right. And my biggest point isn't I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm one of the first people that back the police. I'm a huge police supporter. I'm not trying to bash anybody. Just because there is a, a bad apple or a few bad apples doesn't make them all bad. But we have got to do better as people.
Yeah, sorry, I'm reading these comments so that people are saying that just people that are having frozen up internet. We'll have to keep going. We'll have the video if we have an issue. Hopefully this will. People are saying that it's working. Yeah, I don't know what else to say or do about it, but I saw that story earlier today, and it's just I don't know what to say other than it's disgusting, and I hope that those officers, and again, not just the officer that was doing it, but there were 3 other cops standing there, and any one of them could have and should have stepped in and said, "Dude, let him up."
Yeah.
Let
Like I said, it's just we as human beings have got to do better. We have got to respect each other more. I mean, I'm disgusted. I cannot take it anymore.
I'm with you.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's get to something happier. What?
Poop stories or what?
I don't know. I'm so exhausted. I'm so exhausted by it. I think about it all the time. It's tough. It's so tough.
It is. So what? I guess the question becomes, what do we do about it? I guess all we can do about it is to continue to be a voice and not be quiet.
I think that's exactly it. Is we have to speak up. We can't be silent anymore.
Right. All right. So we're gonna.
I told you it was going to be down right at the beginning, but we're going to go have some fun now.
Listen, to be fair, you told me that you wanted to talk about this. You didn't tell me you were going to come out, cry on the podcast and stuff.
Oh, I figured I would.
No, I'm giving you a hard time, but dude, I especially given your background and everything that you have, growing up in a biracial family and having experience, I'm so sheltered. Obviously I have a very strong opinion about this, but I'm also well aware of the fact that I'm a, straight white guy out here in the Midwest with, not, I didn't come from a biracial family or anything like that. So, for me, when I'm just looking at it and I'm looking at that officer, all I keep thinking is like, what is like, this person's a psychopath. Like, what is wrong with a human being to have in any situation to have someone pleading for their life like that and not have the tiniest little ounce of empathy to say, okay, I better let him up.
Yeah.
Like I said, even if the guy was beating you up with a baton 5 seconds before that, once you have him cuffed and down and he's begging for his life, it's time to let it. And what bothers me is, how the fuck did this guy become a cop? How does he get through all the psychological profiling and everything and all the back, like get to that point where he even has that authority? That's the scary part, is how does someone like that have that kind of authority? That's fucking terrifying.
No, it really is. It really and truly is.
And honestly, so I can look at him and say, that dude is just a bad human. That's a bad person. It's a bad person that has authority he shouldn't have, and he did a bad thing, which is obviously predictable. But what's even more frustrating is the other 3 officers standing there. Like, surely they're not all 3 crazy psychopath racists, but are they too chicken shit to stand up and say, hey, get off him? I don't know the circumstances, but that's someone should have, the phrase we use all the time on Truth and Justice, the Edmund Burke's old quote that says, the only thing necessary for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. And that's exactly what was witnessed there. What we witnessed there was aside from the monster that was doing it, the 3 people standing there who very well may generally be good people that didn't do anything to stop it.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree.
Jen Ford says maybe it's time to take a look at the psych requirements for police. Is that something they only do when hired or yearly? I don't know, Jen, and I'm sure difference from state to state and jurisdiction from jurisdiction. But I know that one thing that used to frustrate me with the fire service was exactly that. In our case, it was physical fitness. So to when you become a firefighter, you have to take. I mean, it's grueling. It's very competitive. You've got to be in tip top physical condition to even be considered for a job. But once you get hired, there's never is one of the issues. I was our union president for a little while. It was a terrible one because our union had a contract that made it so that you never, ever, ever had to do any schooling or physical agility testing for the duration of your career once you were in. So now you got guys 20 years later that weigh 400 pounds sitting in a truck, can't fit into their bunker gear, and haven't taken a class in 20 years, and are clueless, but their requirement. So I have to believe that's probably very similar in the police force, but I do not know that firsthand.
Oh, all right. Are you ready to go move on to something a little bit?
I just want to look at the comments real quick and make sure we're not missing anything that are good points other than people agreeing with us.
So did you attempt to watch the launch today, the SpaceX launch today?
I didn't. We talked earlier when we were recording the Truth and Justice podcast, and I'm stoked about it, and I kind of forgot. I got super busy this afternoon and I forgot about it.
Yeah, I was
delayed it.
I was super excited to the point that I had it on the TV like an hour early, sitting there watching it just by myself, watching it roll.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it got closer, I called the boys down. I actually called the boys down with like 18 minutes to go, and they canceled it at like 16 minutes to go. So I'm like,
is that how close they got?
Yeah, they were at 16 minutes.
Because they were talking this morning that there was bad weather and they likely weren't going to take off. What do you think about the new spacesuits?
Oh, they're badass. The dragon suits.
They're kind of retro.
Yeah, they're pretty badass.
Like I was expecting, and I wonder if that's intentional. So like I was expecting, because it's like SpaceX and it's all this new stuff, like to have a very, I'm sure the technology's out there now to make a more slim lined suit to go up, but it looks like it's like totally like looks like they came out of the 70s to go up into the spaceship.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty badass, and I was excited to watch. I was really excited to watch. Like I said, I was sitting there watching, waiting. I waited to call the boys down because they don't have a super long attention span, but I called them down like with enough time, and then they aborted. And it's the weather. They actually said if they would have had like 10 more minutes, they could have done it, but they don't have that kind of window.
And obviously I don't know shit about shit, so I'm about to lay down some knowledge about shit I don't know nothing about.
Yeah.
How the fuck can a rocket that's propelling it hundreds of miles an hour and weighs tons upon tons, how does rain affect it? All I keep thinking is all it's got to go is, a couple miles and it's out of the atmosphere and then we're out in space.
It's something with the lightning. Like, because if it hits one of those clouds, it can create lightning. They were talking about it. They were actually talking about it on whatever I was watching. I don't know if that's 100% true, but I remember hearing something along those lines. It's that it can actually create lightning itself.
I blame Trump. His fault.
Oh God.
He's trying to shut down Twitter now.
Yeah.
And now it canceled the launch. And everything that I love, Coach Trump is shutting down.
I don't know why you love Twitter. I can't stand Twitter. I know we've talked about this so many times, but I can't stand Twitter.
Well, and I don't like Twitter either, but as I've said before, what I like about Twitter, for me, who, through the podcast on TV and show stuff, I get a lot of people trying to interact with me on social media, which I love. And I like to do it personally. I've never, ever hired somebody to handle my social media. But what I like about Twitter...
Maybe you should.
Right. But then I never will. I never will. And I'm as popular now as I'll ever be. So it's just downhill from here.
I think you peaked in high school.
You're right. But what I like about Twitter is people can only interact with me with, I think it's up from 140 to 2, however many characters on Twitter. I can scroll through Twitter. It's quick. And on Twitter, people feel like, because I want people, if someone takes the time to reach out to me, I want to acknowledge them. So on Twitter, if all I do is hit like the like, or if it's something cool, hit retweet. That quick. It's a short thing I read. Boom, boom. And then people realize, oh, Bob is reading this and he's acknowledged this. And oh, he shared my thing. And they're satisfied with that. As opposed to like Facebook, where it's like, hey, I want to write a message to Bob. And it's this long on my phone.
Yeah.
And especially like anytime that like the 2020 episode airs or the TV show re-airs, so there's people I feel so bad. I found today on Instagram like 2 weeks ago, because I finally tried to go through all my messages. somebody asked me, it was their mom or somebody's birthday, and they're like, "Would you record a quick video for her and tell her happy birthday? It's her birthday's tomorrow, and she's a big fan." And I was like, and that's something I would totally do. I would
Yeah.
totally do that. It just take a couple seconds, happy birthday. But I missed it because there's so much on there. But on Twitter, it's quick and it's easy. That's what I like about it. However,
Go ahead.
I don't ever scroll through my Twitter feed because it's the most negative, political, ugly, awful shit ever.
Yeah. Somebody on here, I don't know where the comment went, but said that Twitter's toxic, but it's quick on info. That's something I meant to bring up earlier when we were talking about the topic earlier that I got all upset about. But was mainstream media. I last night there was riots in Minneapolis for, I don't know if you guys know this or not. It's news now, but there was riots in Minneapolis. There was protests, big riots. So I'm scrolling through Facebook last night because I had an air conditioning guy at my house at 10:30 at night trying to fix our air conditioner. But scrolling through Facebook last night, and people were posting on Facebook that that there was protests and people needed to be safe and whatever. So I flipped on the news, and there was absolutely nothing. CNN had nothing. Fox News had nothing. MSNBC had nothing. I couldn't believe it. But if you looked it up, you could find that there was protests and riots going on, but you could not find it anywhere on the mainstream media.
Well, and I guarantee you the reason for that is both sides. There's like CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News. They're trying to figure out, wait, whose fault is this?
Mm-hmm.
Like if we can blame Trump for it, then MSNBC and CNN are going to run it. If they can blame some Democrat governor, then Fox News is going to grab it and do it with it.
Yeah.
And it was not real obvious. If it's not real obvious, that's when it sits.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what upsets me about the mainstream media.
Yeah, people are saying it was on CNN, but I was on CNN last night on the website, and it was nowhere to be found. So yeah, it's all been covered this morning on mainstream media, but when I was looking last night at 10:30, it was nowhere.
The Fluffster 100, which is my new favorite YouTube handle, they saw it in the UK on CNN. The only reason I read that comment is because their name is the Fluffster 100. I like it. I dig it. Amkamarath says, yeah, if I want to know something, I go to Twitter because they all know to tweet stuff out quick. Yeah, but the problem with that, like I said, with Twitter is everything. Maybe I'm following the wrong goddamn people on Twitter. Maybe that's my problem, because when I go on Twitter, it's never just like, look what's happening. It's always like, look what President Trump and the White House has caused. Fuck him, impeach him, and whether you agree with that or not, I don't even give a shit. I just don't want all the negativity. Just give me some information. That's why, for my scrolling needs, I turn to Instagram. It's pretty. There's pictures, and people are positive and happy and uplifting on Twitter or on Instagram, unlike Twitter. Also, as I mentioned earlier this morning on the Truth and Justice podcast, my latest jam is TikTok, and it's so bad. It's so bad.
Have you created any videos yet?
No, I don't think I ever will.
Come on.
I take that back. I have. My stepdaughter Bella, she's 14, so she's one of like the teeny boppers that are always like making the videos on Twitter.
Yeah,
and she's always grabbing me to make a TikTok with her. So she on her feed, there's probably 10 videos of her coming into like the kitchen when I'm standing in there going, "Bob, make a TikTok with me," and then I shake my booty, and then she puts it up on her thing. But no, I'll never make one. But dude, it's don't let your kids on TikTok ever. TikTok is hilarious. Listen, so here's the thing. The problem with TikTok is it's such a time suck, because I'll show you. I'm just going to go on to TikTok.
Oh my God, here we go.
The problem is I don't follow anyone on TikTok. But the thing with TikTok is that it's a never-ending cycle of, so that's why it's such a time suck. So like Instagram, if I go on Instagram and I scroll up there and I'm like, oh, there we go, and I go a little ways and it goes, you're caught up, and then I'm caught up, and that's it. But if you go on TikTok, it's just a video after video after video, and you got to filter through the teeny boppers dancing, which eventually it starts to move them out of your feed. But then for some reason lately in my For You page, snakes. So many snakes.
Why would there be snakes?
videos, probably because when I saw videos of people catching snakes, I'm like, oh, what kind of snake is that? And I watch it like 3 times. And so it keeps showing me snake videos. People fishing, people turkey hunting, or people just doing stupid shit like jumping off a roof.
My wife watches TikTok a bunch. Her and the boys watch TikTok, but it's all like funny animals and stuff like that. I don't know.
See, I don't know how to curate that. So like here's a wait, I should get off the Wi-Fi or I'm gonna really fuck up everything.
You're fucking everything up.
See, here's a guy with a TikTok of a deer running on the side of the road. It just froze up right now.
And this is what Bob watches: deer running on the side of the road, because he couldn't look outside and see the same thing.
There's people doing some stupid stuff. I would swipe past this.
I can't believe we're actually doing this right now.
No, thank you. Whatever that is. And then, but here's some guy doing something cool. As soon as
You think
he's
splitting wood,
and this
splitting
shit
wood
will just mesmerize me. I'm just watching this dude splitting wood, and then you swipe up, and then there's whatever that is.
It's tattooing.
Yeah, a tattooer is this crazy horse. See that?
That just makes me sad.
I know. This guy is throwing things at. I'm trying to watch my screen on that screen.
Jesus.
I don't know what's going on there.
This makes for really good audio, just so you know.
Right. There's some people in a boat. No, whatever that is, no thank you. Whatever that is, no thank you. Whatever that is, no thank you. But you see you see my point. What happens here? Like, what the fuck is that girl doing? It's like a hoverboard on the water. I don't know what that is, but I know I want one.
Yeah, I guess so.
So my point is, when you're doing this, as you can see, if you see something that doesn't interest you, you just swipe past it, and there's another video, and there's always a fucking another video.
Hey, watch this, guys. This door's going to open in just a second.
This is a mortar. They're doing a slow motion mortar. See, I want to see somebody. There it is. See, you ever seen one of those?
Kaboom.
I have. There's a big strong guy flexing. There's some lady drinking a Corona.
I look like both of those guys. I look like that guy and that woman right now.
Do a dance. Don't know what she's doing. Don't know what she's doing. Don't know what she's doing. You got to get past that stuff. Not sure what's happening there.
Yes, Jen, a drink delivery.
You're getting a drink delivery?
Yeah.
You already drank that whole fucking Tito's?
I got upset, Bob.
This guy has stitches. Look at his stitches.
It's not totally gone, but it will be in a minute.
See, I don't know why this man has stitches, but he's got stitches.
Something bad happened to that poor guy.
Stay safe, Ohio. Quarantine 70. He has 72 stitches. Anyway, that's my latest time suck.
Yeah.
And my counters as trolls.
We have a lot of boomers, apparently. Boomer grandmas that like us.
I'm not. Well, my kids call me a boomer, although I'm not actually a boomer.
You're a Gen Xer, right?
Yeah, I am a Gen Xer. Born in the 70s.
I'm a Zennial. I will not say millennial.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Zennial. I'm like right between.
You don't act like a millennial.
No, I don't. But that's why I say I'm a Zennial. I'm an elder millennial.
Right. Who can send me a drink? Valerie says.
I thought the door was going to open, but apparently it didn't. So.
And Kelly Zappa says, flexing like Bob on 2020 B-roll. That's funny. You remember that?
Yeah.
So here's a little behind the scenes on that. So I went for the 2020 episode I was on about the Melgars. You know, I filmed like weeks with them. Like I went out to New York and filmed, and then I went to Houston. I went to LA. They came to Bridgman, and when they sent to Bridgman, they sent some contractor producer, and the guy was a knucklehead. Like nothing he filmed was used. He was a pain in the ass. He kept telling me that we were gonna, like, oh, I want to film doing this, and then like he would show up late. Like the camera crew would be there and he wasn't there. But the only thing that he filmed for the entire 2 days that he was at my house was he said, I want to get a shot of you. Yo, what up, Michelle?
Bob said, yo, what up, Michelle?
What up? The dog ran downstairs.
Here, babe.
Oh, you're going to give it. Oh, dude,
thank you.
You're welcome.
My wife would whoop my ass if I handed her that extra glass like that. For those of you listening, Zach's wife just walked in and he took the drink she made him and then just said, as she was walking away, said, hey, and then held up his empty glass over his head for her to pick up, which would have resulted in an ass whooping in the rough house.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I remember when they were in town filming that, because that's when you still just lived right down the road from me, and I
Right.
would just conveniently show up every time they were there. I was trying hard.
Just trying to make the cut.
I was like, here's a coffee, Bob.
But this dude, so for as an example of what a dipshit this guy was, he said, well, what's we want to get kind of your routine down. Like, what's your routine? And I was like, it was during the school year, so I have a much more strict routine during the school year. And I was like, I get up at 6 or I get up at 5:30. I take my kids to school. I come back. I work out. I go to work. Well, we need to get a shot of you working out so we can kind of do like a, part of your routine thing. So I was like, okay, well, and the whole deal is what they always tell you, by the way, if anybody's ever filming your house, what they're always going to tell you is, we're not going to interrupt your day at all. We're just going to follow you around. That's not true. So he's like, so what time do you work out? I said, I'm usually home by 6:30 from dropping them off at school, and then I work out. I'm like, cool, we'll be here at 6:30 to catch you working out. 6:30 comes, they don't show up. I work out. They show up at noon while I'm in the middle of working, and they're like, can you put on some workout clothes and go down and work out so we can film some of that? And then they ended up for this little clip on the B-roll of me in my basement in a tank top lifting weights like a douchebag. So upsetting.
That's how you find the truth.
That's right. The truth is here.
The truth is here. So that's what you named your arms. So back a few minutes ago, Pamela Westby asked if I can tattoo over a scar, if you can tattoo over a scar, and you can absolutely tattoo over a scar. It needs to age a little bit. If you ever look at a scar, if you look at a scar, typically it has a little bit of color. Once it loses its color, you can tattoo over it.
Yeah. So as an example, right, where is it? Can't hardly see it. But anyway, right through here, I had elbow surgery, and I have a big nasty scar right there, and Jack tattooed right over it. And then
like a ninja.
That's, you didn't do this one, but there's scars on my shoulders up here that one's tattooed over, and there's scars on my shoulder on this one that you tattooed over. All my scars are tattooed over. They look fabulous. Can you see my sunburn? No, you can't really see it.
You're not nearly as sunburned as I was last time.
You can see a little bit on my chest, dude. Well, I was wearing a white tank top while I was at work, mowing the grass and stuff on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out there for 3 hours doing yard work and gardening and all that stuff. And then I came inside to take a shower, and I took my white tank top off, and it looked like I was still wearing a white tank top. Just completely pink.
Yeah.
Nastiness.
You gross.
I know. What the fuck are we talking about? I had a rainbow tattooed over a scar. They're talking about the scar tattoos. What was I talking about before that? I'm sure it was important. Somehow we ended up on the flexing. Oh, I was talking about TikTok.
TikTok. We don't care about TikTok. We're past that. Way past TikTok.
All I'll say about TikTok is, there anybody here that listens, that views, that's listening or watching, that views TikTok, knows exactly what I'm talking about. The problem with it is, if you're sitting there, like, you're laying in bed. For me, I'll do it a lot. Like, if I'm uploading a file, you know how well the internet works here, and it takes forever, and I can't do anything. And so I'll start scrolling through, and it'll go on for, like, I have to make myself stop because there's no end to it. There's always one flick of the thumb, and there's always another fucking video, and it'll just go on forever and ever and ever.
Yeah. Forever. My wife will sit over there and laugh just forever. So, but yes, I'm over TikTok.
I had a teaser last week, and Zach has something he's dying to tell us. I think what Zach was dying to tell you was the stuff we just talked about.
That's where I cried.
Yeah.
Because I cry. Your wife made fun of me about crying the other day.
When? Saturday or whenever we were at your
house? No, it was on Facebook. We were talking about that I can't wait to do the spouse episode because Becky and I are the same person, and you and Michelle are the same person. And then Becky said that I cry way more than she does.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely elements of our personalities. Like, as far as the organization of things, Michelle and I are definitely much more the same person.
Very much so.
Much more likely to leave the toilet paper sitting on the shelf.
Are you saying I would do that?
Yeah, you've documented. It's on the record that you do that. Things like that. But definitely on the emotional spectrum, you and I are definitely very, very much the same compared to Becky, she's a hardened woman. She
doesn't like emotions. She doesn't like emotions.
Doesn't like them. Thinks they're icky.
Yeah, they are icky. Pamela Westby has a very, very good question that I think we need to address, which is she's asking if we can explain what happened with Freddie, which we were so excited that this went through the way it did.
I'm so bummed. So yeah, so what happened was, we had the donations. We had over $1,000 in there, and I got an email from sorry, I need to stop reading while I'm talking. I got an email from GoFundMe that said, "Hey, you have to withdraw these funds by the 26th or whatever the date was, otherwise they're going to be refunded." So that was last week. So I went in there, set up the withdrawals, set up Freddie's email address, sent it to Freddie, and then texted him, and I was like, "Hey, you need to withdraw these funds before Monday, or they're going to return them." And in that conversation, he's like, "Oh, dude, this is awesome because I think I mentioned this last week, but the owner of Relief was helping him out with some legal help, and they got his fines cut down to $1,000. So the $1,000 we raised for him were going to be enough for him to get his license back." And he was fucking thrilled. And then, as one of his friends said on his post, classic Freddie. Yesterday, I get an email that says, "Your donation that you made to Freddie was refunded to you because he didn't set up it." So he never went in and set up the withdrawals after I sent them the information last week, and then time expired and they sent everybody's money back, which is a big bummer. And I feel, but he's working on it. I think the people at Relief, I think he's working there in some capacity now. They'll get there, but it was a bummer. Like, we got him there, and then classic Freddie.
Classic Freddie.
Yeah.
But we really thank everybody that donated and helped out and tried to help out. It shows how many good-hearted people are out there.
It's pretty awesome. We raised $1,000 for the guy.
No, that's fucking awesome.
Yep. I mean, we got it back, right? As he put it in his post, I've sort of created my own little Freddie stimulus package where I'm sending you all money back.
Yeah, that was strange. That was strange.
So I went to the Relief dispensary. I told you that this morning, but I didn't tell them that.
Did you really?
Bought myself a little marijuana this week.
Yeah. To help yourself sleep better. Were you really just trying to chug that? What was happening?
No, well, I was the end of it. I'm upset because now I'm out of whiskey and all I have left is beer.
You don't have a beer delivery service? Like this door behind me.
Volleyball practice with Bella, so I'm on my own.
Becky's playing volleyball.
Or it's actually softball. It's Bella's softball, and Becky's there. I wonder. Hang on, let me see real quick.
So you have no idea what's happening. What is really happening?
Are you home? I know she wasn't thrilled about going to this practice, so she may be a little grumpy. So we'll see how this plays out. Anyway, what was I talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, we went to the dispensary.
Oh, the dispensary. That's right.
Yeah. So my wife, Becky, she's been having trouble sleeping. We usually take like melatonin at night, and I have some CBD oils that I like that help me sleep. And she was like, "Well, I've just been having trouble." Now, let me preface this by pointing out that we live in Michigan, where marijuana is 100% legal. Now, neither of us are smokers. Like, neither of us really like to smoke weed, so we don't. But it's 100% legal here, and there we have dispensaries. So, oh wait, hang on. She texted me back. Don't let me lose my train of thought.
Dispensaries.
Falling down road.
She's falling down the road?
When you get home, can you run me out the bottle of wood for her?
I would like to tell everybody that Bob is not doing that for the camera. That is really how Bob text messages. I wish that was Bob doing that for the camera, but that is really how Bob text messages. Everything is out loud. He doesn't have any secrets.
I always do talk out loud. To the studio, please. So we'll see if my wife is as cool as your wife. Anyway, what was I talking? Oh yeah,
dispensary.
So she was having trouble sleeping. So yeah, and so a friend of ours who smokes a lot, like, gave her a joint and was like, "Try this, and this will help you sleep." And then, like a couple of boomers, we got home and we stared at this joint Like, what's in it? And I know a little bit about marijuana. And what I know is it ain't like it used to be, where there was just marijuana. Now there's a million fucking strains of marijuana. And every once in a while, you smoke the wrong strain and it makes you see little green men floating around your house, or, it makes your head spin and didn't want it. So I was like, don't mess with that. Let's go. You know what? I'm going to go to the dispensary and ask them what's good for sleep. So I drove down to the dispensary. They got like a drive-through going on for now, like because of the corona. Like you pull up and they check your ID, they scan your ID, and then they say, well, they got a menu, and they say, what do you want? I was like, I want something to help me sleep.
Wait, is it like McDonald's? Like they have a board you can like read outside? Like you pull up and there's a little intercom.
They hand you a paper menu. Like you pull
and
up,
you can't hear what they say. They're like,
large fries. What did the relief? How may I help you?
No. So you pull up, they scan your ID, they verify you're 21. They say, okay, here's your menu. Pull up to the next stop, and you pull up around. And then some dude with an iPad comes out. He's like, hey man, what's going on? What do you want? And I was like, I'm not a weed smoker, but I'm trying to.
Wait, did the guy sound like that? He was all like stoner-esque. It's like, man, what'd you want, man?
Every single person I came across was like, what's up, man? Like, and I interacted with 3 people there, which I love those people. Kathy says boomers do not stare at marijuana. That's true. They were smoking it in the 60s. So just like a loser, I was staring at the marijuana. That was Kathy Sawyer mentioned that.
All right. Well, Kelly, you're right. We do have saints for wives.
Yes, we do. Well, we'll see if I got a fucking saint here in a minute.
I have a saint for a wife.
Yeah, we'll see if a bottle of Woodford makes its way out to the studio. But so anyway, I pull up and I'm like, yeah, man. I was like, they were awesome, dude. I was like, we don't smoke, like, don't want to get super high or anything. Like, we're just looking for something to kind of help sleep. And they're like, oh yeah, totally, dude. It's like, well, there's 2 things you can try. They're like, one, which I didn't know this was the thing. They're like, if you don't mind smoking it, we have a 100% CBD strain. And I was like, what? And they're like, uh-huh. I was like, no. And so they gave me a little. I do have a saint for a wife. Look.
Oh, she made it.
Yeah, Michelle brought Zach a drink.
Oh, so you want to see if you can get me to do it?
Well, I ran out of people on YouTube. This is my beautiful and lovely wife, Becky.
Hi, Becky.
Are you guys drunk?
Who not yet. Who is a saint who brought me my bottle of Woodford Reserve.
I know that I'm talking to her and she can't hear me, but it's funny.
Unless you want to join in, I was just telling them the story about how we were looking for marijuana to help us sleep, and I went to the dispensary.
That's the story.
All right, I love you.
I love you.
You missed.
You're so stupid.
So my wife is a saint. I already knew she was awesome, but I didn't know if she was a saint or not. But she reaches saint.
Also
status.
called you stupid.
Right. Yeah, she said that's this anybody that thinks that my life is anything different than that, that's what it is. Here we go, a little more bourbon. Yeah, so anyway, they were like, well, yeah, so it's CBD. So they give us in a minute, I'm gonna go pee and I'm gonna grab it, show it to you. It's like not CBD oil, which is like I have that, I use that. I'm really good for joint pain and stuff. But it's like a buds of marijuana that you smoke, but it's 100% CBD. Right. I don't know. This is sign language for buds of marijuana you smoke. And hit that, and it's weird. No effects whatsoever. You don't even know you took it. I noticed my back hurts less and I sleep better. And according to my Whoop strap, the fuckers need to sponsor us at some point. Because I can log when I take it. I get much better sleep. It's called
Apparently,
flower.
I need to try this. Apparently, my wife and I both need to try this because.
Wait, your wife is on the feed right now. She said
I know she's awesome.
To the point. But I guess you have to be when you live with Bob. That's right. Stupid Michelle. I think it was a dig, so I'm gonna take it as disrespect. So anyway, no, it wasn't called peach puree. I don't remember. It was called something or other. It was whatever. Somebody asked that. But so anyway, they gave us that, and then they're like, if you want the THC, but this is a great bedtime brew, they gave us the strain was called Memberberry, and that one actually does have THC in it. But they're like, it's calming, anti-anxiety, and it's like a nighttime weed. It helps you sleep. I mean, you're not a weed. Have you ever been, or do you want to talk about it?
No, I've never been. That's just
I
not
never
my
have
thing.
either.
I mean, I've tried it. I've definitely tried it. Who hasn't tried it? But it's just never been my thing. I just don't like the way it makes me feel.
I don't either. It makes my head spin. I don't like it.
Now, granted, this was, I was smoked in high school 20 years ago when there wasn't these cool fancy names and they knew what it did to you. You just had some kid show up with a bag of stuff and you smoked it.
Yeah, and you like pull the seeds out of it and shit. Yeah, this is different. But it's
like,
so different now.
When you like see good weed and it's just like a bag of actual weed and you're like, how do I even know that's not weed? There's no sticks or seeds in that bag.
Right. Yeah, it's got all these crystals all over. What is that? What's going on? But this Memberberry stuff, it's a low percentage of THC, higher in as in twigs and berries, Gen 4. Yes, it's called Memberberries is the strain. It's like 14% THC, which I found out that they can go up to like 25%. So it's lower THC, a little bit of CBD, and hits like ready to go to bed the other night. And like, well, let's try it. And Becky and I are such dorks because we're like, all right, kids are in bed. Go on the deck, smoke some weed. So we sneak out onto the deck. It's not too much sneaking. Our teenagers, we told them like, yeah, totally smoked some dope last night. But like took like 2 hits, and then we go to the bedroom and we're like laying in the bed, like watching TV, because we've been watching Designated Survivors, our serious show we watch at night. And then but then we have like Community and Cheers right now are our kind of go-to funny ones. And Katina Carter says, do they still have dime bags? No, they have eighths now. And they come in medicine bottles. I'll show you in a second. But we're laying there, we're like, are you high? Like, I don't think so. Are you? I don't think so. Then a few minutes later, oh wait, now I'm high. But it was
geez.
But it's crazy. Those bud tenders know the strain so well. So it's like, I'm wide awake. I need to get to sleep. Hit it a couple times. For a minute, you're like, oh, I'm a little bit loopy. And then 2 minutes later, you're like, night, and you're out cold.
No, I've never been a smoker though. Really, this is not my thing. And you know what? I didn't even drink that much for a long time. Like I probably went several years without even drinking.
Oh,
really? I think it's you. I think you're a bad influence. When I moved in here,
I'm around me. I don't know what's going on.
When I moved in here, and you were right down the road, and I could just drink at your house and walk home. It all ended.
I love our new house, but the thing I miss the most, honestly, 100%, is the fact that you guys were a few doors down, and anytime we're just like, especially in the summertime, like now, like, hey, what are you guys doing? Come on over, and we would just sit on the deck for no reason at all and just hang out and have a couple drinks.
'Twas nice. It was nice.
I'm gonna take a TV timeout and go take a I'm gonna go hop over the couch.
Okay, this is the ask Zach portion of the show.
Yeah.
So what do you guys want to know from me?
I'm not talking for a minute. Oh, but there's so much good marijuana talk on here that I want to get into, but I'll be back.
He'll forget by the time he gets back, guys. I did see one earlier that asked about when my shop was going to open. Honestly, we have no idea. The way Michigan is, we have no idea what's happening. We are lumped in as a non-essential service. So we're lumped in with like salons and barbers, massage therapists, and they have no timetable for us to open. It could be several more months. I sure hope not. I mean, I'm going crazy. Financially it sucks, but mentally it's way worse. I mean, it is really dragging on me. Yeah, they are open in Ohio. They're also open in Indiana, which is really tough because Indiana is all of about 10 minutes from here. So I have clientele that I'm worried I'm going to lose because they're going to go right across the border and and get tattooed. Any more Ask Zach questions? Or do people not care about Zach? They only care about Bob. I'll sit here for a second. Yeah, we still don't have hairdressers open. Grayson, you're very welcome. My favorite genre of music. Let's see here. That's hard to say because I am all over the place when it comes to music. I can listen to just about anything. I will tell you the one thing that most people don't know about me is I love 90s dance music. That is something that I just love. Absolutely love. Black Box, Paula Abdul, all that. Let's see here. Let's see some other ones here. Sell us some t-shirts. I would love to. My boys are absolutely missing school. They miss their friends terribly. So yeah, they're definitely missing school.
Sell some t-shirts. What are we talking about? Some Bob and Weave t-shirts? Who would buy a Bob and Weave t-shirt?
Favorite movie genre? I'm just ignoring that you're back.
Well, I'm answering one of the questions.
For once, it's about me. It's not about the Bob. I pointed up because Bob's up on my screen, but he's really like over there, I think.
If you on the top right, if you hit gallery view, we go side by side and we seem like equals.
Well, see, I have it closed because so I can see the comments.
Oh, see, I have mine. There, it doesn't matter.
Yes, we're speed dating Zach right now for all the questions.
Okay.
Yes, I did see you mention not to shave my head, and I appreciate that you said that because I don't want to shave my head yet.
Dude, this is a perfect time. I'm about to, dude. I'm so sick of getting fucking haircuts because I got to go to like underground. Like, I need one really bad right now. I've like given up on combing my hair. I don't like wearing hats, and so like I need to just shave my head. I think.
Brian, we got our AC fixed about 10 minutes before we started this podcast. So that was one that I wanted to follow up on. My favorite movie genre, easy, rom-coms. I'm a rom-com guy. My wife makes fun of me all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense that you're a rom-com guy. You know, as much as I am a big old crier like you, I definitely don't like a rom-com.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of a weird person. If you look at me, like if you see me outside of here, all our listeners kind of know me now. I mean, they know my personality. They know who I am. I'm this big teddy bear thing that cries all the time and watches rom-coms and listens to the 90s dance music.
But you look like a bad.
But yeah, I'm not a little dude. I'm 6'2", 250 pounds. I'm a big dude.
Are you 6'2"?
Yeah.
You're taller than me?
Yes, sir. We've had this talk several times.
I try to block that shit out. I like to think I'm the biggest motherfucker in the room all the time.
No, you're not.
I got you by 30 pounds though.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it happens.
Not a good 30. I'll give you that 30 if you want. Take 30 off of this region here.
You know, it's weird. I haven't lost any weight from when I started my fitness journey. I haven't lost any weight, but I have changed drastically, which obviously we know how that works. But
yeah, I could tell when I was over that you're packing on some muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Erica thinks I'm feeling the bourbon a bit. Maybe it's none of your fucking business, Erica.
Kathy says she's 4'9".
Oh, have you never met Kathy?
I've never been 4'9" in my life. I don't think.
Right. She's a tiny little thing. So this is.
So I want you to know that my wife is texting me things as we were like, because she's watching. So she's like texting me questions.
Well, tell her to put them on there.
No, they weren't even questions. She was just telling me things.
Oh, well, I want to show as promised. So somebody asked what the strain name was. The pure CBD strain is called Catatonic, and it comes in a little medicine jar. And I for sure didn't have to look up on YouTube how to pack a bowl with marijuana.
Oh my god,
Such a dork, dude! I bought this little pipe. Yeah, this is the flowers, but this stuff has zero psychedelic effects at all. Like you can't even tell you took it. It's interesting. Catatonic.
Yeah. Catatonic.
Totally sat down and watched a YouTube video on how to. I'm like, what do I do with this thing? Do I put the whole thing in there, or what do I?
I'm just gonna ignore Bob like he's not talking. So Pamela, I've never seen dark because I'm afraid of the dark. I'm not really afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of heights, but that's different.
What's dark?
It's a TV show. It's on Netflix. It's in German. I don't speak German, and I don't read fast enough to watch subtitles.
Hang on. So Kelly Harder says, mind blown. There's pure CBD plants. Yes. So I did a bunch of reading on this, Kelly, and what it is when a marijuana plant is flowering and ripening the buds, the trichomes on them. We talked about this morning. Where the trichomes on them are these like little clear crystals that are all over them. And then as the THC content gets higher in the plant, in the bud, that trichome turns white. But apparently any strain, if you let it continue to ripen, over ripen, those little trichomes will turn amber in color. And that's when the CBD content is getting higher. So if I understand it right, any strain, if you let over ripen, will become THC or CBD. Can we extract it from him too? All right. It seemed like when we asked about the t-shirts, I think 4 people said they would buy shirts. So that seems promising.
All 4 shirts. I'll
Right.
sell 4 shirts.
We should think of a cool shirt. Like you know what I'm jealous of? I'm jealous of the True Crime Garage guys. Look at Nick and Captain. They come up with constantly the coolest shirts. They don't just say True Crime Garage. They say things like "Don't be a douche canoe," and then they sell 1,000 of them.
Which is funny because I'm sure that's not even that guy. I mean, that guy says that, but that's not like his line. Like other people say that.
No, not at all. It was just something that Captain says. Like, dude, that guy, don't be a douche canoe. And he said it enough times that that people thought it was funny. So then he made a T-shirt and he sold it. They make really cool merch. True Crime Garage definitely has the line on the merch game in the podcast business.
Well, then we need to step up our game because I know a guy that can do some cool stuff.
We need to. What's something funny that we say?
I don't know. I'm wearing one of my own shirts today. Like actually,
One you made?
Yeah.
Hope for today?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
That means exactly that. You have to hope for today. You can't worry about tomorrow. Can't think about yesterday. You just have to hope for today.
I was thinking something like make a T-shirt that says like, "Hang on, ... Zach's crying."
Yes, Fluffster, I was a T-shirt merchant at some point in my life.
Yeah, Zach's been a man of many roles over his lifetime.
Yeah, I do a lot.
But they all have to do with art. You've always been an artist of one form or another.
Jen Ford, that is exactly what I think should be on a T-shirt. It says, "I love you, buddy. Thanks for being my friend." And it could just be our faces.
That's good. That's a good one. Except for I say, "Thanks for being my friend," and then you say, "I love you."
Love you, buddy.
Yeah, it's bass backwards.
It is. It's all right. But look at that. It's happening.
That's your second one?
No. Stop being judgy.
So real quick on the SpaceX thing.
My wife just called me out and says I have to be obsessed with something at all times, which is 100% accurate.
Currently it's weightlifting, which is pretty healthy.
Currently it's weightlifting. Yeah.
I need to get obsessed with running. That's what I need. I just ordered some new running shoes and I'm gonna make my fat ass do some running is what I'm gonna do.
I actually really love to run.
I hate to run, but what I found in the past is I hate to run, and then I do it. And if I get a few weeks in and I make some gains, there comes a point when I'm running regularly where then I start to love it.
Yep. It's just getting over that hurdle, that first hurdle.
Yeah.
Then it's fun again.
Yeah. Or it's always like I start running and it's like I'm doing a mile or a mile and a half or 2 miles and it's just miserable. And then I jump from like, it'll be like every time I've ever really gotten into it, there'll be the day where I hit that 2 mile mark and I'm like, I still feel fucking great. And I just keep going. And then I'll end up doing 5 miles. And then from that point forward, and then I stop at some point. And then a year later, I'm like, why the fuck did you stop doing that?
Apparently we need to make a beer camp shirt because everybody says that's the one.
Beer camp. But have we talked about beer camp on the show?
I don't know if we have or not.
Bob and Weed beer camp. Well, first of all, that seems odd for this show. I like the concept, but Zach doesn't drink beer.
Yeah.
So that's not really.
I did drink some Oberon the other night.
Yeah. I like Brian says this is how the sausage is made. We do say that often.
You say that often.
You never like it.
I'm not the one that fights you on it, but Mike is the one that fights you on it.
Mike really doesn't like it when I say how this is how the sausage.
Mike does not like it at all.
Okay, how long have we been going? We've been going for an hour. We should get into. Oh, what I wanted to say about the SpaceX thing is, what are your thoughts on the taking space exploration, the government taking it to the private sector?
I
And
think
for
as
that
long
matter, for that matter, before you answer, same thing when it comes to like medications for this whole coronavirus thing.
that's two totally different things, I feel like.
Not in my opinion, but go ahead.
Well, so I think and I'm going to say this, maybe it's completely wrong. I have no idea. I think the government didn't want to fund it anymore as far as the space exploration, the SpaceX stuff.
Well, yeah, Obama shut it down, basically.
Yeah. So if we're moving forward and it has to be private, because that's basically what it's going to be from now on, or it has to be at this point, I think it needs to be that way. Like we have to see it. I mean, I think it's the way for mankind to move forward.
Yeah. See, and to me, like I look at it on a broader spectrum. One thing that I do like, don't peg me as a Trump supporter, but one thing I like that Donald Trump has done is to tap the resources of the American people. Now, and you can understand why I feel that way, given what I do for my main living, which is truth and justice, which is crowdsourcing, getting ordinary people involved in doing something that is typically reserved for lawyers and cops and and judges, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting ordinary people involved, and so the idea of giving the private for the most inefficient fill in the blank anything. I don't care what you're talking about. The most inefficient X is whatever X is that's run by the government, in my opinion. Our government is such a bureaucracy. It's such a clash of the parties. It's so hard to get anything done. There's so much red tape. We see, I mean, look at like this, for example, the stimulus bill. Our government comes together and says, we need to send some money out for all these people that are suffering. Good. Well, let's debate it for a month while we try to get, funding for a library in and something for the Republican agenda and something for the Democrat agenda instead of just doing what they're supposed to fucking do. So by taking it out of the government and saying, you know what, there's, Elon Musk is probably, if not the most, one of the most brilliant minds in the fucking world. And to say, you know what, if you think you can figure it out, you figure it out. Let's see what you can do. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome getting stuff out of the government hands, putting it in the private sector. It's been controversial, so I don't want to get into it, but I liked it even when Trump at the beginning of this Corona thing was like, no, we need to get, we get GM making ventilators, going out of the government into the private sector and letting the people of this country, of this world on a broader scale do things. So I think to me, what I am so excited about watching this mission, the SpaceX mission, putting a man into space, is like, this is like our government has relinquished this to a private company that is doing it better than the government ever fucking did.
No, Jesus Christ, SpaceX really has. They've done a lot of really good things that NASA was never able to do. I mean, look at some of the accomplishments they had. Where they were able to land a rocket. Not just crash it back to Earth, but actually launch it and land it. I mean,
Right.
that was huge.
Well, yeah, and land itself. The unmanned rocket that took off, and somebody, which I don't want to get into an argument at all, but somebody said it was already in the private sector before Trump. Don't give that credit to him. I'm just saying, in general, he is very often saying, putting things out into the private sector. But yeah, like Elon, like NASA. I mean, of course, technology over time improves anyway. But he did in a year more than they could do in 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has the resources. He's got money. He doesn't have to jump through hoops. He doesn't have to go through committee. He's a private company that can do that, which I saw a little bit that was in there.
There was a drop. There was a drop. I got cocky.
For you listening, Zach just tried to show off that his glass was empty, and he tipped it, and then he poured vodka on his lap.
We talked about this earlier with Mike, but does any of our listeners know what Elon Musk's child's name is? Like, is there a way to pronounce it?
About who?
Elon Musk, his child. Like, what the fuck his kid's name was?
You guys were talking about this. You and Mike were talking about this morning. I don't know. I
just fucking said that, man. I just said we were talking about this morning, the three of us.
I was reading the comments. I was being interactive with our listeners instead of listening. But no, I didn't even know he had a kid, so I don't know anything about it. Is it actually like like letters and like symbols and stuff, or is it a
Yeah,
the name?
no, it really is. It's like letters and symbols, and it looks like a Wi-Fi password.
Let me look it up right now. Elon Musk kid name. It's the number 2 search that popped up when I put
Yeah,
him in.
it's ridiculous.
And he's about to put a man into space, and it says his kid name is the number 1 thing that comes up. Baby's name X. I don't even know what that symbol is. What the hell is that?
I told you. It's Wi-Fi password.
Tweak their baby's name? Confirming they did make a tweak to XAEA 12. Change baby name because of California laws, or the baby's new name. Van Road. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Gen 4 just says it's XAsh-A12. I don't
Why?
I don't
What
know.
does it mean? I mean, not why. It's up to they can name the kid whatever they want, whatever's trendy. Kids match your couch at this point.
What? Kids match your couch.
It's old. It's from that Dennis Leary show that you didn't like that I put on.
Because it wasn't funny, man.
I know, but that was one of the things that he said that was funny if it was delivered in the right way. Now,
Gotcha.
Having kids has become trendy. Like, look, this is my kid. He matches my couch, and that's about the time everybody started naming their kid Tristan and Tristan. You know, all the, look at, well, your kids are younger, but I have teenagers, and in their class, there's all the Aidens, the Caden, Aiden, Bait, whatever they are, and the Tristan, all those. Anyway, doesn't matter.
I named my kid after an astrophysicist. And he's far from that. I love him to death, but he's a savage. Like, he's far from that name.
Wait, Sagan?
Yeah.
But I thought he was named after a baseball player.
No, he's named after Carl Sagan. He's like the world's most famous astrophysicist.
I knew he was. Here's how smart I am. I knew he was named after Carl Sagan.
Mhm.
Thought he was a baseball player.
No, jeez. Have you ever seen the show Cosmos that Neil deGrasse Tyson did? That came out a few years ago.
I have not seen. Oh, but yeah, go ahead.
Anyways, Carl Sagan did the original Cosmos that Neil deGrasse Tyson took over and redid.
So what do you and all of you listening think about having a guest on that is just a big time conspiracy theorists?
I mean, I think it would be good. I like conspiracy theory.
I was at my brother's house this weekend, having a. What did I do? I hate that there's a delay in the comments because everybody was like, "Whoa, oh my God, Bob!" But I don't remember what I did.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But anyway, we were like, dude was like super cool, and we were sitting chatting. You could tell just intelligent guy, enjoying the conversation with him. And he's a listener. Weird thing, funny thing about me. If you ever see me interacting through, like, if I'm around people I don't know, like I just veer away from and like try to draw to people that just seem like good humans to me. One of the factors that I'm always looking for, subconsciously, really, is someone that's a good listener. They're not like trying to be life of the party. And this dude is like, people are talking. He's like, oh, really? Like my dad was rambling on about some story about, where Lyme disease came from, which apparently was from the town of Lyme, Connecticut, where they were.
You didn't know this story? No, it wasn't. They didn't breed them there. They bred them at the island across from Lyme, Connecticut, and they found them in Lyme, Connecticut.
You fucking know this.
That's right. Apparently, people know who Carl Sagan is, and that's what they're oh my godding, Bob, is the fact that you don't know who Carl Sagan is.
Oh, I knew it was him.
He's that pitcher from the Milwaukee
from the Yankees.
Yeah.
But like my dad is like, my dad's always just telling dad stories. One thing I love about my dad, and he's just like, really? You're like, yeah, like just intrigued. Like you can tell, like he maybe doesn't care, but like he's just like a good dude. Like he's like, oh, you're telling a story. I'm gonna be engaged. I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna be an active listener. Whatever reason. Anyway, sidebar. But I'm like, this is a cool guy. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, this COVID shit, it's all mark of the beast.
Excellent.
I'm like, say again? He's like, yeah, COVID stands for, oh fuck, what did he call it? Something like the CO. I don't remember what it was, but it was like vaccination ID or something like that, like cause of vaccination ID, something like that. And he's like, and like everything about this, like the House bill they put up was like 666, and this was 666, and there's all this. Um, Someone asked what my dad's name was today, and it took me a while because all I could think of was Popsy. His name's Bruce.
Yeah. No, she figured it out.
um. Anyways, is like all this crazy stuff about how like this whole thing is a hoax. The whole coronavirus is a hoax, and it's to get you to force you to get vaccinated and all this stuff. Which, I was like, oh, really? What's awkward to me is when someone is speaking things that I'm not saying it's not a crazy theory. Maybe it's not a crazy theory, but when they're speaking things as fact, like, duh, dude, don't you know that this is all fake? Like it's all a big conspiracy and blah blah blah. And then I was like, I was like, kept trying to lighten the mood because I was making fun of my dad for telling the story about Lyme disease, and so
Mhm.
like he's getting so intense about it that I was like, that blows my mind almost as much as the Lyme disease came from Connecticut. And it's like, ha ha ha. And he's like, no, but for real, the Earth's flat.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like,
I
wait,
think we have a friend that's kind of a flat earther, or at least likes to talk about it.
who?
A friend of ours from Tennessee, a certain friend of ours from Tennessee.
Wait, I only know one friend from Tennessee.
That's probably the one.
The one that makes our music?
Yeah.
Shane's a flat earther?
I don't know. I wasn't trying to bust him out, but he
I'm
sure
texting
thinks
him right now.
he sure likes flat earth a lot.
Where have you seen this? Where
He's
have you
mentioned it several times that he would come on as a guest to talk about flat earth.
To who?
He's,
You?
he's text me and you both.
Do you believe the Earth is flat?
There's literally text messages between the three of us
Oh, I don't remember that. I must have thought he was kidding. But
that said he would. Maybe he is kidding. I don't know, but
well, it's gonna be a weird text for Shane to get from me at 9:00 at night.
yeah. Do you believe in flat earth?
But this dude, I'm like, wait, so you believe the Earth is flat? And he's like, I believe it's not what they say it is. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, but he's like super intelligent. He's like, yeah, well, the circumference of the Earth is this, and blah blah blah, this and this and this and this, and so you can see things further away than you should be able to see things. And so, and I hate it because he's spouting facts in math, and I know nothing, and I had nothing to combat it with. So I was just like, well, fucking Lyme disease came from Connecticut, so anything's possible. And it's like he went on. He's like, and he's like, the moon landing was fake, right? Like everybody knows that. I'm like, Sha, everybody knows that the moon landing was fake. And he was a cool dude. But because he goes, we were, I was kind of joking around about it. And you've met my dad enough to know that Popsy is like the classic one-liner smartass. Made a few smartass comments about it. About him, and then like after my dad left, he's like, yeah, I think your dad thinks I'm crazy. He's like, yeah, whatever. He's like, I can take it. And it was like super, just all I care about. This dude was super happy and friendly and was fun, but like has got some facts and believes so strong that the Earth is flat, never landed on the moon, and that, what did he say? Something along the lines of, there's never been a 360-degree photo of the Earth from space. Like nobody's ever been in space and like taken a video from the Earth out to the stars to like show us that it's a real picture of the Earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was bananas. I was like, this, like Becky and I are sitting there like, really, really? And then Lena was like, this man is crazy.
There is a documentary. Oh, what's it called? Room 238. It's a documentary about all the significance of the movie The Shining. And they talk about that he helped film the fake moon landing video. I can't think of it, the director, whoever the director is. I can't think of his name at the time. Famous.
I'm not saying the moon landing.
I should know his name.
I'm not saying the moon landing video wasn't fake. Let me just put that on record. Zach is making the tinfoil hat symbol over. Well, I mean, you've seen the documentaries about it, right? Where they show like the flag waving in the wind, but there's no wind on the moon. You know,
Yeah.
there's some shit that could make you believe that maybe, like the moon, as he was citing to me, you see the moon lander, like the thing like driving, but there's no tire tracks behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I saw some stuff. I mean, they did. There is definitely proof that they faked some photos. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick. That's the director I was thinking of that I couldn't think of. Anyways, there's definitely proof that they faked photos. They have photos of like a training mission, like here on Earth, that they just like. I was gonna say Photoshop, but it was before Photoshop. But they photoshopped out the background and put like a spacey background on.
It's like old school Photoshop.
Yeah, and they basically said they're like. They admitted it at some point. They're like, well, the photos we took didn't turn out, so we wanted to have a photo to give everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. He'd be cool to be on because he's a guy that like believes passionately about it. And what this is what concerns me. He's going to make us look stupid.
Who is
this dude? If we have him, Brandon,
probably.
Only because like he'll like I don't know how to debate this, right? So like he's like, well, the circumference of the Earth is whatever crazy number, and the arc of this is this much, and this is this, and blah blah blah, and like it's like stating numbers, and I have no possible way of knowing if what he's saying is accurate or not.
There is a flat Earth documentary on Netflix called Beyond the Dome. I think that's what it's called, Beyond the Dome, something like that. And it starts off like a pro flat Earth documentary and greatly falls away from it quickly. But literally the closing scene is some flat earthers doing a experiment to prove that the Earth is flat, and it fails, like literally fails, cut to black. Like perfect ending.
Like I know for a fact that if you leave New York and go east, eventually you'll end up in LA.
I mean, I guess so.
And if you keep going east, you'll end up back in New York.
You think maybe they drive in a circle.
Yeah, they just go in a circle around Mexico.
Yeah.
Favorite Popsy one-liner. Hang on to that. Don't let me forget that favorite Popsy one-liner. But there was something else that somebody said. Shit, I just saw somebody had a good question.
I think the documentary, if we're talking about the same one, or maybe we're talking about a different one, is called Beyond the Dome, something like that.
Oh. Paranormal. Anyway, I lost it. My favorite Popsy one-liner, and this is a good example of a Popsy one-liner, is so my baby brother Brent, we call him Bert. When he was a teenager, he got into raising birds. So he got I'm gonna skip the long story, go to the short story.
Wait, can we talk about your baby brother Brent for a second?
What about him?
You're talking about him raising birds, but I want to talk about the story of you killing the chicken to give to Brent.
Oh, Mike's chicken. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike's chicken that he apparently became way too attached to, but it kept attacking his
name was Featherfoot.
Featherfoot that kept attacking his fiance, which I won't say her name because I know he's very particular about that. You're welcome, Mike. They kept attacking his fiance, and he needed to put it down, so he brought it in for Bob to shoot it or something. What did he want you to do to it? Shoot it, right?
It was I think it ended up being a rooster. Yeah, and it was like attacking his fiance when they would go out to get the eggs, and it needed to go, and she decided that it needed to go and it needed to be shot. But Mike couldn't bring himself to kill it, which, I get it, in Mike's defense. Mike's not a farmer. He's never done anything like that before.
Mike is very kind-hearted, and we love him for that.
Yes,
but he did not want to put this chicken down.
You were here that day, weren't you?
I was there, and it was a sight to behold as you're in the garage thrashing a chicken, and Mike is I don't even know what I want to say, elbows deep in his headphones trying not to hear anything.
He didn't want to see it until it was a humane killing of the chicken. And then I took it out and I killed the chicken, and then I just butchered it right there because he didn't want to see Featherfoot until it looked like chicken you bought in the store. So I took care of it, and then I cleaned it all up, and then I brought it back in as in a Ziploc baggie that just looked like chicken you would buy from the store. But it's similar story about my baby brother is.
I want to answer a question real quick, but then you can answer. It's not
Okay.
called Under the Dome. It's called Beyond the Curve. The documentary is called Beyond the Curve. I just looked it
saw
up.
10 people say Under the Dome. You
But
sure?
it's not called Under the Dome. Is something else. It's called Beyond the Curve. I was just making shit up apparently.
Hmm.
All right, continue.
So Brent, there's a couple of these that I have. I'll give you two Popsy one-liners. Both have to do with foul. The one, so Brent he went and he bought an incubator for some reason when he was like 14 or 15, and was hatching duck eggs and raising ducks, and then he had chickens, and then he had turkeys. So he had all these different things. Well, what we found out is when he hatched these turkey eggs, that turkeys are assholes. Now my parents don't. My parents live in the country. They do not live on a farm, so there's no like pen for them. These turkeys are just wandering around. And then the turkeys got a little older, and they were all toms, and they got fucking mean. So the kids, at this point, my son was like 2 or 3, just barely walking, and the turkeys were about eye level with him. And like if we went to their house, we had to like pick him up and hold him because they would peck at everything, and they would peck their freaking eyes out. They weren't afraid of humans at all. They would peck. So anyway, there's 3 turkeys, and we decided that the turkeys had to go. We had to get rid of these turkeys, and so it was myself, Brent, my dad, Popsy, my friend Ryan, and my nephew Austin, who was like 10 at the time, maybe 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there. And Austin, my brother was never really around, so he was my older brother, so he was pretty much raised by his mom and grandma. So it was coming up on hunting season, and he's wanting to get in, hanging out with the guys. So he was hanging out with us. So we come home from whatever we were doing. We have to dispatch these turkeys. And my mom comes out, of course, and she's like, Austin, you want to come in and bake cookies? And he's like, no, I'm doing man stuff with the guys. We're going to go out there and kill these turkeys. So we go out, and there's the 3 turkeys just wandering around. And first, Brent, now we've got all the implements you could think of. We have an axe, a machete, a sledgehammer. Me, Ryan, and Brent are carrying to figure out how to dispatch these turkeys. And Brent takes the axe and then walks up to the turkeys, and they start wandering around in circles around him. And he just looks at me, tears in his eyes, and says, I can't do it. I can't do it. So then Ryan grabs the axe. And Ryan's like, I'll take care of it. And they're wandering around, and he looked at him for a minute and says, I can't do it. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, people kill and eat turkeys every day. Like, it happens all the time. So I grabbed the machete. Seems like a better option, a better implement to take care of this. Now, mind you, my 9-year-old, whatever he is, nephew is there, who is only out there instead of baking cookies because he wants to do some man shit. So I'm standing there, and these turkeys are wandering around me, and I take the machete and I pull it back, and they got long necks. It should be easy, right? Lop them off. And I look at them, and I see what the other guys had a problem with. And I look up to my dad, Popsy, and I say, they don't even know what's coming. And he says, I bet 2 of them do. So that was one of the greatest Popsy one-liners.
Oh my goodness.
So then as the story continues, though, I go ahead, and about that moment, one of them tries to peck the zipper on my jeans and gets me right in the junk, which then motivated me to go ahead with the original plan, and I lopped its head off. And if anybody's ever lopped a chicken or a turkey's head off, what you know is they keep flopping and flying around for a long time. Like, you heard the phrase, like a chicken with his head cut off? That's a thing, because they will run around with their head cut off. So going back to my 9-year-old nephew there, I whack this chicken's head off, to which point, or this turkey's head off, it starts spurting blood out of its neck, and it's on me, and it's on my brother, and it's on my friend, and it's running around in circles, going crazy, and then it stops. And then my dad wanders over there and he goes, "Oh, well, looks like we got Thanksgiving dinner." Another Popsy one-liner, and goes to grab his butterball. At which point I said, "Popsy, wait!" And he doesn't wait, and he grabs it by the legs. To which point it starts flopping around and going crazy again, and blood starts spurting out of its neck onto my nephew's forehead and all around us as it's flopping around. Everyone's scattering, and I look up, and there's my nephew with blood on his forehead that said, "I'm going to make cookies," and went back inside. It was the last thing he ever did
That poor kid.
with any of them.
That poor kid.
Uh,
This has been a strange episode. We've gone like real deep to the point that I was crying.
right.
We brought it back up and had a little fun, and now we're
Right.
killing turkeys.
Right. Well, and I've got another foul story that is another Popsy one-liner. Is in this time where my brother is raising birds, he had chickens, and there was always a fight with the raccoons killing the chickens and killing the ducks and all this. And there's a whole that's a whole nother story for another day. But he had one chicken that survived named Lenny. Lenny had a big tuft of it was like an orange rooster with a big like tuft on his head. He looked funny looking chicken, but that was Lenny. And Lenny loved people. Like we would go like be sitting on the deck, and Lenny would come up and just fly up and sit on your shoulder while you were sitting out drinking a beer, shooting the shit on the deck. And then one day, we are we're sitting on the deck, and my dad walks over and goes, "What the fuck? There's Lenny laid an egg." We're like, "What do you mean Lenny laid an egg?" He's like, "I just saw Lenny come from behind that board over there, and there's a fucking egg over there." It's like, no. We go over, and sure as shit, there's an egg still warm sitting over there. We're like, what the hell? And then Lenny flies up onto my shoulder, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, Lenny doesn't have spurs or the snoot they call it or any like. Why the fuck did you think this was a rooster? There's nothing on it that indicates it's a rooster. And my Popsy's one-liner is, well, his name was Lenny.
Crickets, Bob.
I thought that was the funniest shit ever. And how dare you not give my dad?
Here's the deal. We tried to do 5 minutes of stand-up comedy on stage. And no wonder you couldn't finish, because you couldn't tell a one-liner story in 10 minutes.
Well, there's got to be the setup for it. You got to know what's going on. But what's funny about it is that my dad named the chicken Lenny because he thought it was a rooster. But then when it laid an egg, he said that the reason he thought it was a rooster was because his name was Lenny. Funny. That's funny shit. The people on YouTube think it's funny. I'm getting emojis. I got a drum roll. I got
that is from the last story, not from this story.
Oh, that's from this one. That's from this one. That's good stuff. You don't think that's funny? I think that's a funny Popsy one-liner.
It's all right. I'll give it to you. It's all right. They
so
just like you. That's all there is. They don't know you like I know you.
So that's it. Are we wrapping this up, or are we telling poop stories before we go?
That's up to you.
Well, a couple glasses of bourbon in. Did you now? You mentioned in last week that you. But I'm distracted. But I'm just reading all the people saying how they thought that was so funny, and disagreeing with you.
It's okay. It's okay.
But you mentioned that you shit your pants on a regular basis as an adult.
I don't shit my pants. I've done it. I wouldn't say I've done it regularly.
Do you have any more? I feel like this is a good theme that we end every show with a pants shitting story.
I don't.
Or a
I
poop
really
story.
have to think of another one, because that's the last one that comes to mind. I really don't have another shitting story.
All right. Well, I will tell mine because I promised last week that I would tell this other story this week. the one that ended with my chief seeing me walking naked through the through the fire station. So the story goes like this. I was working a 72-hour shift. It means I had my normal shift was 24 on, 24 off, 24 on. Caught an overtime shift. So I'm at the fire station for 72 hours straight. The night before, I had, which was one of my favorite firehouse meals, is I made my firehouse grilled hot wings along with my firehouse chili. So all kinds of spiciness just to set the scene. This is what we all ate at the station the night before.
So let me stop you. You are now telling another poop story about pooping on yourself when you just tried to throw me under the bus saying I poop on myself regularly as an adult. But you can continue.
I'm just saying that you said last week.
I don't think I said that.
You said something along those lines. You said something about we're all adults, we shit our pants on a regular all the time, or something like that. You said.
I think I said we're all adults and we've all shit ourselves. I don't know what I said. It doesn't matter. I don't really listen to us either. So
by the way, in neither of my story, in your story, you shit your pants. I have yet to shit my pants.
No, I shit it. I cleaned house, buddy. It happened.
Chili with or without beans? With beans. Hello, duh. Which I say that because my wife makes chili without beans. It drives me nuts. But I make some kick-ass, very spicy chili and some very spicy wings that I grill. So we all eat chili and wings the night before. Now the next day, we're out and we have this program where sorry, it's the string of emojis that Chris just put on there. I'm gonna move. It's a wave, fire symbol, and a pile of poop was the emoji she put up in sequence. So anyway, we had a program that I had put together where I got a whole bunch of smoke detectors donated, and then we would go out and install smoke detectors for people. So myself and my good friend Mike Zabo Ziegler, he was driving for me. We go out to this house to install a smoke detector, a couple smoke detectors. And we're in the house and we start, and it's maybe 3 miles from the station. And we're up on the ladders and we're putting the smoke detectors up. And all of a sudden, you ever get the bubble gut, Zach? Where you know you need to find a bathroom immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And it always starts with like a little, like a stomach grumbles, like gurgle, gurgle, uh-oh, like one of those. All you listening know what I'm talking about.
I did it the other day working out. I was like mid squat and had to like run upstairs and I was doing front squats.
That happening mid squat is a good formula for shitting your pants.
I was coming, buddy.
Yeah. So there I am up on a ladder, screwing in a smoke detector, and I was like, I'm like, oh no. And I made the mistake of telling Zabo that this was going on. I'm like, dude, we got to get the fuck out of here. And he's like, dude, just use their bathroom. I'm like, no, I'm not. We're the fire department. We're here to install smoke detectors and then go blow up their bathroom. I know it's coming because of the chili and the hot wings from the night before. I'm like, we need to. Valerie says it always happens to her when she's on the treadmill. Grayson says, yes, he knows what that feels like. Happened to him last week. So you're all with me. So I made the mistake of telling. If anybody's ever spent any amount of time around a firefighter, you know this was a mistake because there's nothing. We spend 24 hours together all the time. There's nothing we love more than to fuck with one another. And he's the driver. So I say I gotta go. He says use their bathroom. I'm like, no, we gotta go. Like the last one, put the screw in. So he starts fiddle fucking around and intentionally like he's like screwing. He's like, oh, I dropped the screw. Like just dragging his feet, trying to make this last as long as it can because he knows that I'm dying. Like just like my last story, I got the shit sweats, I got the dookie bumps, I got everything happening. And he's dragging it on. Finally, we go to walk out, and of course he starts talking to him. You know, where he's like, smells good in here. What are you guys cooking? Like, oh, do you like to cook? Shit like that. Why I'm dying and he knows that I'm dying. We finally go to get in the truck, and I jump in the driver's seat, which is not my job. My job is to sit I was his officer. I sit in the officer's seat. He drives. I was like, fuck you. I know what he's going to do. So I jump into the driver's seat and I'm like, I'm driving back to the station. Get in the engine, start heading back to the station, and I'm driving 1,000 miles an hour back towards the station. I mean, lights. I was ready to turn lights on and run stop signs at this point. So, as fast as I can, I get back, and it's one of those. I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced this, but have you ever, because you're an adult and you know that it's not okay anymore to poop your pants, that when you know it's coming, that it almost makes you cry. Does this ever happen to you, Zach?
I don't think it's ever made me cry. I mean, it's embarrassing. You know it's coming.
It was to the point where it was literally painful. I'm like standing up on the seat of the truck, like I can't sit down. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. In like the last half mile, I'm literally driving, saying, oh my god, 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 it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. But I'm holding my own. I'm holding my own. And now our fire station had pull through bays, which meant there was the driveway. You pull through the back, open the back door, pull up to the front bay where you park the truck, so you don't have to back the trucks in. No, I slide like squealing tires on a 50,000-pound truck, squealing tires into the front of the station so I could run in the front door and sprint to the bathroom that was in the back of the bay. And I run through, and much like my story with the Carhartts, I made it. I did not shit my pants. I did shit in my pants. If that makes sense. So I don't want to pretend to understand the physics of what happened. All I know is I ran into the bathroom. But now I'm in a uniform. I'm in my fucking dress blues. So like there's a belt and there's a weird, the kind of it's not a snap, but it's like a tab and a hook that you like dress pants hook into.
Mhm.
I got to undo those and we even have we had like they're like garters that would like elastic bands that would attach your shirt to your socks to keep your shirt tucked in tight. That I had back from the military days that I still had. That I always wore with my uniform. I'm unsnapping those, pulling the shirt out, and then sit down and let it rip. And that was the best possible outcome for me. I was in a bathroom on a toilet. I'm sweating. I was like, oh, everything is okay. The world is okay. But then as I'm sitting there, I start to look around. And I realize if you look at the human body, say this is the lower part of your legs, this is the upper part of your legs, and this is your torso. In the process of sitting down, you kind of do something like this. Now imagine if there was a projectile.
No, I don't think you do this to sit down. I don't think you do the fucking worm. You just kind of bend.
You don't back up to the toilet and then your upper legs go bop. Like there's a process to sit there. What I'm saying is, let's say in this area right here, which would be your buttocks, your sphincter. Let's say there's a projectile right there. It doesn't just go boop down into the. There's a motion, and if something is coming out of there as a projectile, your wife just put a smack head to the forehead emoji up. What I know is that process starts on your pants and belt that are between your feet. It runs a stripe up the front of the toilet, and then it goes into the toilet, and then up the back of the toilet, a little bit on the wall, and then back down to the
How
toilet.
do you sit on the toilet, man? Like I'm not understanding how you're able to like do the worm onto the toilet.
It's not the worm. It's a normal way to sit down. You bend over. Chris just said, "Ha ha, the worm." But there's a process. You don't just go like bonk. I'm sitting down. You go like, but you like kind of back up into it and then sit down. I don't know how it works. All I know is as I start to look around, there was a spatter pattern that went from the wall to my pants between my feet. So here I am, a 25-year-old, just physically fit, handsome young fireman chap that was sitting there covered in shit that was sprayed all over the wall on my uniform. It was fucking everywhere. So I sat there and I relished in the moment for a minute because the pressure had been relieved. So I was not going to let that go. So I let the relief set in, and then, as I tend to do, I start to develop a plan. Okay, what next? I can see it's on my underpants, it's on my pants, it's on my belt. I specifically remembered on my belt because that was a tricky to clean. It's on the floor, it's on the toilet, it's on the wall, it's a little bit on my shirt from when I leaned back.
Oh,
Jonah wants to know who had to clean that up. Well, let me tell you, Jonah. So obviously I have a problem. I mean, every article of clothing has at least some amount of feces on it at this point. Now, my best friend / worst enemy knows this is happening. And by the way, it's the daytime, so the fucking chief is in his office, which is in the front of the station. So all I can come up with at this point is we have a laundry room. I'm stripping down naked, taking all the clothes directly into the laundry room. Then I'm going directly into the shower, and then I'm putting clean change of clothes on, and then I'll deal with the bathroom. So the next thing Mike knows, who's sitting in the kitchen having a cup of coffee, he sees me walking through the kitchen, butt naked, sans socks. I didn't take my socks off because they were fine. They were the only thing that was fine. So I come walking through wearing socks, butt naked, holding all of my clothes in my arms, walking through, to which Mike, aka Zabo, doesn't think we worked together for a long time. He's just like, well, okay, that's happening. But then I hit the hallway right as the chief comes out of his office. And so as I'm walking out of the kitchen into the hallway here, he comes out through the door into the hallway there. And there I'm standing, middle of the day, butt naked, holding a armful of clothing. And he just stops, and I stop. And he looks at me, and I said, I wouldn't ask. And he said, I'm not gonna. And walked back into his office. And I went into the laundry room, threw all the shit in the washer, went and grabbed some clothes from my bedroom, and then went in and took a shower, and then went out. And luckily, because it was the apparatus bay, the garage bathroom, it was all like concrete floor with a drain. So I took the hot water hose that we used to wash the fire trucks with, and took it in there and rinsed everything down the drain, and then took the brush that we used to wash the fire trucks and scrubbed the bathroom, rinsed everything down the drain. And then the best part, the icing on the cake, is when I walk back in to the kitchen, Mike has the cabinet door open, and there's a roster we have with the phone number of every firefighter that worked at our fire department. And there he is calling them one by one. Hey, Fred. Yeah, it's Zabo. Yeah. I just want to let you know that Lou just shit his pants out in the bathroom. He shit up the whole bathroom. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but he definitely shit everywhere, and he walked through here naked. Just want to let you know. Thanks. Hung up, calls the next. Hey, Dale. Yeah. Hey, it's Zabo. Hey, Lou just shit his pants in the bathroom. Literally called every single person on the roster to let him know what had happened, because that's what friends are for.
that is what friends are for. Guys, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube page. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, that's the end of the video. I was sort of hoping that you were going to tell a worse poop story.
Maybe next week. Next week.
Hey, so we're going to keep doing this as long as you guys keep showing up. So every Wednesday, you're good with that, right, Zach?
Yep.
Every Wednesday 8 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you guys for joining us. The audio version of this that Mike will have the privilege of cleaning up will be available next Wednesday. We'll see you right here, 8 p.m. Eastern next Wednesday. Zach, thanks for being my friend.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too, man. All right. We'll see you guys.